finally ready to go. All right, well, Jimmy Neesham, yeah, first things first, the sun is out. Optimistic of getting a full game in tonight?
Yeah, very optimistic. Obviously, the forecast was looking a little bit shaky over the last couple of days, but yeah, it's meant to be raining quite heavily right now, and here we are. So yeah, hopeful of getting at least some sort of game in tonight, but hopefully a full game. Yeah.
And first game of the home summer, I suppose. How the excitement levels in the camp coming off the back of a pretty successful T20 World Cup?
Yeah, had a couple of days at home, friends and family and stuff over the last week or so, and yeah, sort of come to Wellington pretty fresh, and only had the one training yesterday before getting into the tour. So yeah, everyone's certainly fresh and ready to go, and as we sort of talk about, it's the pinnacle tours that we really look forward to, and India is certainly one of those. So yeah, really looking forward to get on the ground running in the home summer and start off well.
What does a game day look like for Jimmy Neesham with a 7:30 start?
Pretty slow, to be honest. Yeah, just a bit of a late breakfast, try and have a bit of a sleep in, and yeah, just sort of try and mill around the hotel and think about the game as little as possible, and yeah, probably go grab some lunch after this and try and shut it down into the old Brad Pitt again for the afternoon, and then get up raring to go for a 4 or 5 o'clock head down to the ground.
You know we know all of the Indian players here. There's a few missing, been a bit made about that, but in terms of the strength of the squad that you're facing, yeah, where does it rate?
Yeah, incredibly strong squad, I think. It's quite a difficult team to scout, I guess, because there's so many different options in the group, and with that experimentation period, I suppose, in between world tournaments, we know that they'll sort of try a few different things and potentially a few new combinations as well. So I suppose it's about not trying to prepare too much for what we think they're going to bring out, and sort of play things as they lie, and yeah, whichever team they put out on the day, it's obviously going to be an extremely strong team on paper, and we'll have our hands full.
Just lastly for me, playing at Sky Stadium, obviously quite short square. What are the other considerations when you come to that venue?
Yeah, Sky Stadium, it's that sort of rugby ground, I guess, and we've had recent experience playing on those sorts of dimensions at Adelaide Oval in Australia as well, so we're certainly no stranger to that. India, played recently at that ground as well, so both teams will be used to the conditions. It's generally a pretty good wicket here, potentially a slightly slow outfield as well, so that six hitting can come into it a little bit more, and yeah, certainly I'm one of those that enjoys the short square boundaries, so I'll be trying to target them for sure.
Jimmy, we didn't see you with the ball much in the World Cup. Is that just because the rest of the bowling unit were doing the job and the matchups were not right enough? Is that, or is there anything else to that?
Yeah, no, I'm the sixth bowling option in the team, and the makeup of the 11 that we pick, and or that we did pick in the T20 World Cup. And I think when the surfaces are less true and a bit more difficult to score on, you tend to go to your extra bowling options a little bit less. So yeah, the bowling unit we had in the World Cup, the front five were doing an outstanding job, and I was ready to go and did get the call up to warm up a few times during the tournament, but just the way things went and the wickets that fell at the times they did, it didn't end up being required. So I'm still training hard when we do get the opportunity to train, and I'm assuming that during a series like this where the wickets are going to be a little bit truer and the boundaries a little bit shorter, those 6th and 7th bowling options will probably come into play a bit more.
Fantastic. With the series last time, the bilateral series, India won at 5-0, but I don't think that's a fair reflection of how close that series was. We had a couple of games that went down right to the wire, super overs, etc. And on the other hand, New Zealand's always been India's bogey team come the knockout stages of any tournament. So two equally balanced sides. How do you see this series unfolding?
Yeah, it feels like a very, very long time ago, that series. I think a lot of water's gone under the bridge since then, and I wasn't involved in that series either, so there's certainly no skeletons in the closet personally, but we're just looking forward to the series, and whatever's gone on in the past. You also look back at previous earlier knockouts that we've managed to get on top of them in the world tournaments. They don't mean a whole lot moving into this series, so yeah, we'll just be looking to hit the ground running tonight, hopefully start off strongly, and yeah, the series will come thick and fast after that.
And with your knowledge of the IPL and the Indian players that you have, you and Kane pass that on to the others. But in T20 cricket, a lot of planning, scheduling, does that really come on the park, or is it every ball is an event in itself and adrenaline just takes over from there?
I think it helps a lot. I think we've seen, especially with other teams, I think especially it helped us a lot against Sri Lanka in the World Cup, with a lot of guys in our team having played with and against their players in the IPL. I think Afghanistan potentially as well, as a team that in the past you've been coming up against guys who you haven't seen a lot of, but yeah, you tend to see those guys not only in the IPL but also in different T20 leagues around the world. So there's fewer surprises in international cricket now than there were maybe 5 or 10 years ago, and that allows you to prepare a little bit better as well. And yeah, we've already had those conversations this morning around the players in their team that you might have seen a little bit less, and it's just about going out on the field and being as adaptable as possible. And when those players do come up, having a conversation, whether it be the bowlers or the batters, talking about what the strategies are, and just trying to take good options from there.
Last one from me. First time a team playing without Guptill and Bolt when they are available. What's the feeling like in the team about that, and what does it mean for the Black Caps?
I think it's just the nature of sport, I guess. I think, you know, the careers progress and guys move on and new players come in. And I think you look at it more from a point of view of the excitement of new faces in the group and what they can bring energy-wise. And I think Finn Allen's one of those that comes in. Blair Tickner as well has had a few opportunities, but it's about giving those new guys opportunities. And yeah, the door's not closed on Trent or Guppy for the World Tournaments coming up, but it's a great opportunity to give new guys a bit of experience, much like India are as well with their squad. And yeah, trying to get as much IP, I guess, into different players as we can leading up to World Tournaments in 10 or 11 months' time.
Thank you.
And just lastly, Jimmy, news has just gone out. Bay Oval's sold out for the second T20 up there. There's strong crowds expected throughout the tour. I suppose your reaction to that news and how much the team does enjoy playing in front of good support here in New Zealand.
Yeah, it shouldn't be surprising anymore that we get strong crowds, I guess, when India turn up. I think we saw during the World Cup the pulling power of India and Pakistan at a couple of games at the MCG, and yeah, it's no different here with a strong population of Indian supporters. So yeah, we're certainly expecting the atmosphere to be as if we're playing away from home for a few games of this tour, but hopefully the New Zealand supporters can come out as well in strong numbers and I suppose compete with what will definitely be a strong Indian contingent.
All right, thanks very much.